Some people have always looked beyond the borders of their nations and have dreamed of a utopia. Others have been expelled or forced to leave their country due to conflicts or poverty and have sought asylum in those other countries. Regardless of the initial reason to leave your country of origin, there has always been and will always be immigration from one country to another, legally and illegally. Like everything else, there are consequences for these transactions that occur around the world every day. Specifically in the United States, the benefits and negative aspects of immigration are numerous. However, in the long term, the benefits far outweigh all possible negative aspects that may arise due to immigration, legal and illegal. Closing borders in the U.S. disturbs the process of mixing and globalization and faces the risk of isolation from the rest of the world's society. Having more open border policies would be beneficial to the economy mixing of cultures and upholding human rights standards. Although closed borders do not severely affect access to our increasingly globalized world, it can affect international connections and alliances. We already live in an interconnected society that is incapable of losing its web of connectedness. However, physical and imaginary barriers can create conflicts between peoples. For example, tensions may arise if a group of refugees were to be rejected from crossing the border into the United States. This would be looked down upon in the world's eyes. Some people may even draw similarities to North Korea when referring to closed-bordered policies. The Migration Policy Institute released an article of North Korea's immigration policies and stated that North Korea imposes very strict migration controls on the entries and exits of foreigners and of its citizens, and that North Korea has long regarded unauthorized departure as an act of treason. Individuals who are caught immigrating or helping others to cross the border illegally are detained in political penal labor colonies, known as Kwan-Liso. Prisoners serve anywhere between 2 to 7 years in these camps, where rates of torture and death are notoriously high. Although it seems unlikely for the United States to reach this point, it is possible for nationalism to grow out of closed border policies that could then develop to resemble North Korea's policies. Immigrants have helped shape our culture and society in the United States. There is a wave of knowledge, new ideas, new traditions, new foods, and new music when an immigrant decides to stay here. This is beneficial for the idea of a global world in the United States. Different cultures and diversity is something that helps change societies. This should be celebrated and encouraged as it helps create new concepts and innovate new ideas, making it the most important aspect for immigration. As nationalism grows within a country, it is actively working against the sharing of ideas and cultures. This can stop innovation and the creation of new concepts and different ideas. Cultural mixing would be threatened by closed borders.
This next story is pretty devastating. CBS News has confirmed a 7-year-old Guatemalan girl died last week while in Border Patrol custody. Jacqueline Call and her father were among a group of migrants who turned themselves in at the border to Border Patrol agents last week. 8 hours later, the 7-year-old girl started to have seizures. She was airlifted to a hospital. She died less than 24 hours later from dehydration and
Children
shock.
are being separated from their families as we speak due to immigration policies that are not in favor of opening borders. This practice reached its height during the month of May 2018, when an estimated 2,300 children were separated from their parents under the Trump's administration's zero-tolerance policy of detaining parents who are immigrants as criminals in federal facilities. The consequences of closed border policies are inhumane and should be changed immediately before more innocent people are turned into collateral damage to these policies. Refugees are another group at risk. They face having to return to their countries where they will face oppression, war, death, or extreme poverty. Contrary to the belief that the economy would do better with closed border policies, markets would actually open with open borders. Although immigrants lower wages for the unskilled labor sector, they help create thousands of other jobs that would not otherwise be available. There is an increase in new jobs such as translators, immigration lawyers, supervisors, just to name a few. Although the wages of competing workers fall, it is only during the transition period. Then the economy adjusts to the new labor influx. Some studies even suggest that the older immigrants suffer more from the salary effects than natives. Immigration policies should be more open and allow the natural flow of migration to occur. It helps to maintain peace in an interconnected world and prevent nationalist ideas from growing. Open border policies will be beneficial to the mixing of cultures and innovation of new ideas coming from people immigrating to the United States from all over the world. Our country would not only be opening up its borders, it would also be opening up doors to endless new opportunities.